Satang Prasanga.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome to today's session. I pray that all is well with you and your families. Please do take care during the next 3 weeks. Like here in India, there's a huge spike in the COVID-19 virus. So I'm sure throughout the world this is going to be so as well. Please take the necessary precaution. So we're moving on to the next sutra today, and it goes as follows. When life seems out of control, we tend to want Krishna's help to change the externals. Rather, we are more likely to need His help changing us within. We need to pray and through prayer relinquish our hold on circumstances beyond our control. In the Vedic paradigm, there's a very interesting understanding of enjoyment that comes called karma kanda, which means Vedic sense gratification. You enjoy your senses through your senses, although they're limited, but you enjoy through your senses, but you do it through Vedic, following Vedic injunction. This is called karma kanda. And as much as that is there, the higher understanding is that one is dependent on the Lord in all circumstances. Nityo nityanam chaitanas chaitananam ekho bahunam jo vitatati kaman. That the soul is eternal, nitya, and the Supreme Lord is eternal, nitya. And chaitanas, the soul is conscious, and the eternal soul is also conscious. So what's the difference between the soul and God? Ekho bahunam jo vidadati kaman. One is dependent on the other. Ekho bahunam. One is dependent on the other. So that is why we're always servants of the Lord. And that is why we pray to the Lord. Because we understand inertly, intrinsically, that there must be a higher force that is there to help us. So in Prabhupada's time, he gave a very interesting example about prayer. And he says, during the Second World War, the First World War, Second World War, then the German ladies by nature, they were praying that our husbands are going out to war. My Lord, if God exists, please let Him bring our husbands back home. And surely the people, the enemies of the Germans at that time, their wives were also praying the same way. So who does God listen to? Prabhupada is asking, who does God listen to then? And he says many of the German women became atheistic because of that, because they prayed and God didn't listen to their prayer. So when we pray with our intention not being satisfied, then we lose hope. That I prayed now, why did it not work out? Well, God is not a bargaining machine. He is sentient and is a supreme sentient being. So He's completely independent. Swarat. Janmadi yasya yataha itaratasya svabhigya swarat. He is independent, first verse of Bhagavatam. So we see here it says, when life seems out of control, we tend to want Krishna's help to change our externals. And that is a natural form of prayer that people start up by. But unfortunately, most people don't improve from that level. They just get stuck at that level, that this is what worshipping God means. I go to Him to answer my prayers. And that's not what Krishna is saying. He's saying, Surita Sarvabhutanam, I'm your well-wishing friend as well. And He wants to help us internally. We see here, we are more likely to need His help changing us within. There is an interesting concept called ritual to spiritual. Generally in Hinduism, we very connected to the different rituals that need to be done. But in and itself, is it spiritual? Is it helping us to reach the higher goal? Or are we caught up with the idea of God just to help us through our current event in life? And usually we lose focus of that because life becomes so intense and the difficult events become more and more frequent, and we just seem to be praying for relief from that, forgetting that moksha is shyami masuchaha. Krishna is awarding moksha, not just temporary result. So we have a very interesting misconception that when we do bad, because we inevitably going to be doing sinful activity by nature of the body, therefore how to counter that? We do pious activity, we do charity, we do yagyas, we do all pious kind, charity, giving to the poor, giving food to the poor. So we get caught up in that, hoping that that is going to counter all the sinful activity we've done. But it doesn't work that way. It's very interesting, but it doesn't work that way. Because whatever sinful activity we've done is there. And whatever pious activity we've done, that helps us to go to Svarga Loka. So if we've done a lot of pious activity, in the next life we'll probably go to Svarga Loka, heavenly planets. It doesn't cancel the negativity. The negativity is still there. So when we go to Svarga, we enjoy the piety there and come back. And if the negativities, the sinful activities are there, then we go to the lower planets and nullify that negativity and then come back and create more karma. So it becomes a cycle of just going up and down like a transcendental elevator. How do we get out of that cycle of just moving up and down? So piety in itself doesn't cancel sinful activity. It just creates an opportunity for you to go up to the heavenly planets and enjoy there in that kind of a body and then come back down and carry on. But Krishna is saying, moksha isyami masochaha. In the 4th chapter, he says, Janma karma chame divyam. If you learn about my birth and activities, which are divyam, divine, they're not under karma, then Tyaktva puna janma naiti. You don't take another birth. What happens to you? Mameti so Arjuna, you come to me. So he's he's awarding freedom from birth and death. No other demigod, no other process can do that. Only Mukunda can give moksha. Krishna. So we see towards the end of the 2nd chapter, a very interesting principle comes about. We'll read that now. We need to pray, and through prayer relinquish our hold on circumstances beyond our control. There are certain things that's just beyond our control. Do we really think we're the supreme controllers here? We're in the kingdom of the demigods. Deva Natrena. They're ruling and they're orchestrating everything here. The water, the sun, the wind, everything is orchestrated by them. And we're at their mercy. So that is why initially in Bhagavad Gita, yajna was done to appease the demigods. And who are they offering it to? Mahavishnu, to Vishnu. So in the 2nd chapter, verse 54, Arjuna asks a very interesting question there. Shri Arjuna Uvacha, Stita Pragya Ka Bhashasa Stavadistasya Keshava Stita Dhir Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Brajeta Kim. He says, Keshava, how does a person in divine consciousness, how does he bhasha, how does he speak? Stita Pragya Ka Bhashasa, how does he speak? Samadhi Stasya Keshava, how does he maintain that equilibrium, samadhi state? while being in this world. How does he do that? Stita Dhir, how is he Dhira? Kim Prabhaseta, how does he sit? Kim Brajeta, Kim Asita Brajeta Kim, how does he walk around and how does he be composed in that environment? So Arjuna is inquiring on a higher level, what is his consciousness? How does a person in divine consciousness, not a person caught up just in ritual to appease their current situation? So a very different mindset. So please think about that one very deeply and be honest with yourself what process you are following for your spiritual enlightenment. Thank you very much. I hope you join us again tomorrow for tomorrow's session. Hare Krishna.